uh, Virgo. Before we start, I want you to take a breath, a real one, um, because this message has two layers. The surface layer is unsettling, and I am not going to pretend it isn't, but underneath it, there is something that I think once you get there is going to surprise you. Welcome. Stay with me all the way through. Your phone is going to ring, or a message is going to arrive, or a knock at a door you were not expecting. Something is coming through from a direction you have not been watching, through a channel that is not immediately identifiable. And your first response, when it arrives, is going to be something between surprise and resistance. Because this is not a conversation you were ready for. Not because it is dangerous, not because something is wrong, but because this conversation, this specific exchange, is going to ask something of you that you have not been asked in exactly this way before. And what it asks is the kind of thing that lands differently depending on where you are standing when it arrives. And I want to make sure you are standing in the right place. When it does, before I tell you about the person, I want to acknowledge something about where you are right now. In this particular season of your life, you have been protecting yourself, not harshly, not in a way that has closed you completely, but with a carefulness, a deliberateness about what you let in and who you let close, and how much you give before you have established that it is safe to give. That protection is intelligent. It came from somewhere real, from experiences that taught you that not everything that approaches is worth opening for, that discernment is a form of self-respect, and you have exercised it consistently. But I want to ask you something gently, and I want you to sit with it honestly. Has the protection become a habit rather than a decision? Is it still serving you? Or has it started to keep out things that deserve to be let in, along with the things that don't? I ask because what is coming, what this conversation is going to ask of you, requires a small opening in the protection, not an abandonment of it, just a door left slightly ajar for something real to find its way through. Because understanding them is the key to understanding why this conversation is going to feel the way it feels. This is someone who does not reach easily. That is the first thing you need to know. This is not someone who picks up their phone casually, who sends messages without thinking, who initiates contact on impulse. This is someone who deliberates, who weighs, who has thought about this particular reach more times than you would believe, over a longer period than seems logical, and they are reaching anyway, which tells you something about the weight of what they are carrying, about how significant this is to them, about how much something in them decided that the discomfort of reaching was smaller than the discomfort of staying silent any longer. The private number, I want to speak about that specifically because It is not accidental, and it is not about hiding, not in the way it might initially seem. It is about vulnerability. When someone reaches out from behind anonymity, what they are doing is giving themselves a layer of protection, not to deceive you, but to be able to say the thing without the full exposure of being completely known before the conversation has even begun, before they have had the chance to say what needs to be said, before the words have had a chance to land and be received or not. There is a courage in that. Underneath the anonymity, the courage of someone who wants to say something so badly that they are willing to reach even without the full safety net of being recognized first. Do not dismiss what is coming because of how it arrives. Now, the part about not liking this conversation, because I said it and I meant it, and you deserve to understand what I meant. You are not going to like it. Not immediately. Not in the first moment. Because what this person is going to say is going to require something of you. It is not going to be a comfortable message. One that sits easy, that you can receive and nod and feel good about and move on from. It is going to stir something. It is going to reach into a part of you that has been relatively undisturbed and disturb it, not in a cruel way, in the way that truth disturbs when it arrives from an unexpected direction and lands somewhere you were not guarding. Maybe it is something you need to hear that you have been avoiding hearing, a reflection of something you have been circling, but not yet willing to look at directly. Maybe it is an expression of feeling so direct, so unhidden, that receiving it requires a vulnerability you have not been in for a while, and vulnerability, even when welcome, does not always feel comfortable, especially at first. Maybe it is an apology, a real one, the kind that does not ask you to immediately forgive, but that acknowledges what was done, clearly, without excuses and apologies. Even the ones we needed can be the most disorienting things to receive because they confirm what we felt and confirmation of something we carried alone for a long time can land with unexpected weight. Whatever form it takes, the discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something real is happening. And real things, important things, the things that actually matter, almost never arrive in comfortable packages. They arrive in the form that is true, not the form that is easy. I want to prepare you because preparation matters here. In a way, it does not always matter. When this call comes, or this message, or whatever form this contact takes, I want you to resist the impulse to shut it down immediately. The first instinct when something arrives unexpectedly from an unknown direction and immediately creates discomfort is to close, to protect, to say, I did not ask for this. I am not available for this. I am not going to engage with something that makes me feel this way without warning. But I need you to stay open just a little longer than your instinct tells you to, just enough to hear what is actually being said before you decide what to do with it. Because the discomfort of this conversation is not the whole conversation, it is the door. And what is on the other side of the door is worth opening it. I want to talk now about what happens after the initial discomfort settles, after the surprise fades, after you have had time to sit with what was said in the quiet of your own space, without the pressure of the moment. Something is going to shift in you, quietly, without drama, in the way things shift when something important has been said and received, even imperfectly, even uncomfortably, even in a form you would not have chosen, a clarity about something that has been murky, a resolution to something that has been suspended, a door that has been neither open nor closed, finally moving in one direction or the other. And the movement, however it resolves, bringing something that the suspension never could. Relief. The particular relief that comes from finally knowing, from things being said that needed to be said, from a conversation having happened, even if it was uncomfortable, even if it cost something, even if it asked more of you than you felt ready to give. Here is the deepest thing I want to say about this conversation. The thing underneath everything else, someone thought of you enough to reach through discomfort, their own discomfort, to say something to you that they have been carrying maybe for a long time, maybe for longer than, that does not happen carelessly. That does not happen for people who do not matter. You do not reach through your own discomfort from behind anonymity without permission to know how it will be received. For someone who is not significant to you, you matter to this person significantly, specifically, in ways that have survived time and distance and whatever has existed between you and the heart in the title. That is not decoration. That is the truth of this message. Underneath the private number, underneath the discomfort, underneath the conversation you were not expecting, there is a heart that has been thinking about you and finally decided that thinking was no longer enough. When the call comes, answer it. Not just literally, but fully, with all of yourself, with the patience to hear what is being said, past the initial discomfort, with the openness to let something unexpected reach you somewhere real. Because this conversation, as uncomfortable as it begins, has the potential to become one of the most significant ones you have had in a very long time.